Well, on this day, every year in South Africa, we remember a moment in history where 20,000 women took a stand for human rights. They marched to the seat of power at the Union buildings to protest against the carrying of passbooks. SABC News reporter Samgelo Maseko joins us live now from the nation's capital in Pretoria. Samgelo, a good morning to you. I think there's something to be said about how these events were going to be held in Khayelitsha. They are instead being held at the Union buildings, which is a place that is particularly significant to today, right?
Indeed, Naledi, this particular event of the commemoration of that iconic march of women marching against the past laws in those particular years, fighting against an oppressive apartheid regime. This particular event has been moved from the legislative capital of South Africa, which is Cape Town, and in particular Khayelitsha, where currently there are those violent protests in Nyanga, in Khayelitsha, in Gugulethu, in the townships of the Western Cape, and in particular the townships of the Cape Metro, against what they term a fight against the injustice of the city and the bylaws, and finding all of those taxes being impounded by the municipality of the city of Cape Town, and that standoff between Santaco and the executive of the city of Cape Town, in particular with the MMC of Community Safety, that would be JP Smith. But just to move from where this particular event, this commemoration of this iconic march, which the likes of Mam Sophie Dubrain were part of, whom is a struggle stalwart, they moved it to the Citadel of Power, which is at the doorstep of the Union buildings, where President Cyril Ramaphosa will be addressing this commemoration of Women's Day and speaking on the issues of the struggles that the women of today are facing in the corporate sector, in business, in government, and also the societal ills of gender-based violence. You heard those staggering stats in that package that was done by our colleague Abra Barbia, speaking about how many women are killed per month, every day, per year in South Africa when it comes to gender-based violence, how many women have to go through the atrocities at the hands of men.
And I think there's something also maybe to be mentioned in that we also saw the president at the beginning of this week, Samgelo, really wanting to highlight the resources that are necessary even to empower women in the world of sport, highlighting the successes of the likes of Banyana.
Indeed, Naledi, because women have become the paragon of South Africa's struggle. Women are the face of poverty within the African black culture, within society at large. When you want to see the face of a poor people, the image of an African black woman, the image of an African black child, and in particular a young woman, is always portrayed. When you look at the struggles of women, the achievements of women, you go to the business sector, you go to the likes of Gloria Sorobe, who've achieved extensively within the business fraternity, and you also look at what they've achieved within the political space. You look at the achievements of the likes of Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, the likes of Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, the likes of Lindiwe Mazibuko within the Democratic Alliance, the likes of Patricia de Lille, and you just oppose that to the women who are at the forefront of the liberation struggle of South Africa, the women such as Griffith Mxenge, the women such as Helen Suzman, women such as Patricia de Lille, women such as Helen Zille as well of the Democratic Alliance, a former journalist who was at the forefront of exposing the atrocities of the Steve Biko trial. And it shows you that women within various spheres, you go to Portia Modise within the sporting fraternity, you go to Caster Semenya within the athletics of South Africa, you go to Penny Haynes within swimming, and it shows you the type of achievements that women across all spheres of South Africa have achieved. You go to the trade union movement, the likes of Zingi Swalosi, whom are fighting against exploitation of workers within the country. And that shows you that women have an important role to play in all sectors of society, from business, civil society, trade unionism, and also within the political space.
Yeah, absolutely. Quickly, before we let you go, Samgelo, what you're seeing there, I mean, what the program is looking like. I think one of the great things about events such as these, where you've got these national commemorations, is the fanfare, right? Where we're able to see even our own defense coming to the fore. What's that looking like?
At this point in time, Naledi, it's very dull here at the Union buildings. We are still waiting for the arrival of those whom will be marching, where my colleague Nozi Ntombi is at, whom I will be linking to at this point in time. But here at the Union buildings, it's not yet a hive of activity. We are still waiting for the various dignitaries to arrive. What we have only seen is the staff, the support staff that are setting up. I've also seen President Cyril Ramaphosa's advance team led by Wali Iroda. They are also here just to assess on the safety aspect. The security has been pretty much tightened up here at the union buildings, but not yet a type of activity. We are anticipating the arrival of the Minister of Women and Children with Disabilities and Youth, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, at about 10:15 this morning. We will engage with her. She's had an illustrious career and is one of those women who've been within the Parliament of South Africa and the executive from when the ANC took over government in 1994. She's a former Minister of International Relations, former Minister of Home Affairs within the country, and also a former minister in the presidency at where Cyril Ramaphosa is currently at as the head of state, and currently now the Minister of Women, Children and People Living with a Disability here at the union buildings, who will speak about women's struggles in yesteryear, in the struggle days, and will also speak about the women and the struggles that they are facing today. You look at the gender-based violence, you look at women who've been killed in our universities, in the University of Cape Town, in Fort Hare, and a number of institutions at the Mangosuthu University of Technology as well. You go to other institutions like Tshwane University of Technology, who young women have died at the hands of their loved ones, whom are presumably their boyfriends.
Yeah.